What's up, boys and girls? This is your boy Johnny Bananas from this season of the Challenge Battle of the Exes 2. We're here in beautiful Aspen, Colorado at the first ever X Games Special Olympics. I'm here with these two amazing athletes. Take it away.
And you're watching Aces Challenge Recap.
Woo! Woo! All right.
Hey y'all, hey, what's up? Ace here with week 4 of your Battle of the Exes 2 recaps. First, I want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Real Johnny Bananas himself, who made me an intro for the very first time ever in recap history. Guys, I just might cry. This is a moment. This is a moment that I'm happy to share with all of you who have been watching these recaps for a long time, and because I've been doing them for years, trying to get people like Johnny Bananas to notice little old me. And, you know, I'm just happy that he finally did and sent me this awesome signed hat that I can't get to stay on my weirdly shaped head correctly. But if you guys enjoyed that intro, please tweet at Bananas and let him know. All his information is down there. Don't forget to follow him. Go check out his website. Get one of these hats. Get a t-shirt. Get a DM shirt. Get all of the stuff, okay? And then when you wear it, you take a picture of yourself wearing it, and he puts it up on his site under the fans part of the. Go check out the site and you will know what I'm talking about. Thank you, Johnny Bananas. You have made my whole challenge season amazing by sending me an intro. You the man. This episode of the challenge was brought to you by RealJohnnyBananas.com. And also, let's hear it for Johnny Bananas' friends who joined in on the intro from the Olympics. That was super duper awesome. I love when I get intros that are just, you know, off the wall and not what I was expecting, and I loved it. I loved it. I cried again. So, episode 4 started off with drinking time, and you know how I love drinking time. I'm drinking a Lagunitas little something, and it's freaking delicious. Sponsor me. This video is not sponsored by Lagunitas. So everybody's taking shots. Adam and Brittany are still making out. I think it's the same night, actually. So it should have been a to be continued. You know, if you want to go in chronological order, Brittany is upside down dancing with her crotch and her ass in Adam's face, and he's all bouncing her up and down, and that's what he's calling a team building exercise. I don't think the team is what's building from that exercise. So Jay and Johnny are dancing. They have something in common because both their exes are hooking up with each other, so this leads them to think that, you know, they should hook up too. So now all 4 of them are having like a stare off, like, and they're like, no, you do it. No, you do it. And they're trying to like bet if each other are going to make out with each other in front of each other. It's confusing and weird. Now they're all making out like, we're sexier. No, we're sexier. I love what Jemmy had to say about it.
This challenge has turned into a swingers club. It's so creepy, but it's so fun to watch.
Now Nani is talking to Janae about how it's hard for her to be here with Johnny because they have history and unfinished business, and that if he wasn't her teammate, maybe they could like blah blah, but he has a girlfriend back home and yada yada yada. Side note, why is everybody sweating their asses off? So on the way home on the bus, good things never happen on the bus rides home in this show, you guys. Never. So Jemmy is riding in the back of the bus with Leroy, and you don't know this until you see Jemmy pop her head up like, oh, from Leroy's crotch, and then look very stunned, like, where am I? Anyway, she was like, I don't know, I didn't do anything. I was just taking a nap, and I might have felt his penis. No, I'm just kidding, I didn't. Except you talked about it later, so you probably did. The next morning, Adam is talking about how now he has opened the floodgates for Brittany wanting to be with him because he was making out with her the entire night before and like flipping her over on the dance floor, and like her butt was in his mouth. He plans to tell Brittany that they can be cool, but not that cool, because that's cool. No, it's not. Brittany walks up and asks Sarah, who was talking to Adam, if Adam had been talking shit. And Sarah tells her what he said, and she's like, you're the one, dude, that picked me up. Did you hear what she said there? She said, you're the one, dude. He's the one. I've been wondering this entire time who is the one. Moving on to challenge time. Side note, I love TJ Lavin and all of his tweets and all of his support, and he is just an awesome human being, and I thank him. Cheers to you, TJ Lavin. You super duper awesome dude guy that I love. Mucho grande. And nachos. So for this challenge, all of the girls have to jump into giant buckets of hot pink paint, and then they have to run and climb up this rope thing to a platform where then they have to bump and grind all over their exes to get paint all over them so that their exes can then jump and hug onto like a punching bag that has boxes on it that they have to fill in with paint. Who comes up with this stuff? I am not repeating the clip of Naya and Leroy talking about how they feel about how they're gonna do in this challenge. I want to, but I'm not. I'm not gonna. I love what Knight had to say about the challenge.
The hardest part of this challenge is probably my
Teresa doesn't want to be there at all. This makes me happy. So the challenge starts and everybody's humping each other, grinding each other. I'm feeling awkward, guys. Is anybody else feeling awkward? I can't keep track of who's winning, who's losing. Like, I don't fucking know. Everybody's just like, bleh, butts and boobs and body parts and paint. And I mean, couldn't they have chosen a different color for the paint? Like, it looks like they're jumping into a giant pool of Pepto-Bismol. At first, it looked really red to me, and then they just looked like a bunch of murderers because they looked like they had blood all over them. But, like, blue probably would have worked, too. Like, yellow, orange, maybe. Adam's all like,
Brittany loves to be around my crotch area anytime she can, so as much as I hate this challenge, I'm gonna get it done.
I am sure that he hates it so much, you guys. Poor Jemmy dives into the paint bucket like that. She dives. That's a dive. She dives into the paint bucket. She gets it all in her eyeballs. So now she has paint in her eyes and she can't see. She's trying to climb the thing like super slow, like with her eyes closed. And Knight's like,
Jemmy's moving as fast as paint dries.
Paint. Do we get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? I got it. Wes can't keep the paint on his body, and he can't understand why. Here's my theory. I think that's because with white-ass skin, like his, and mine, for example, the paint would just, like, seep right into our skin automatically and be like, thank God we finally got some color. Jemmy and Knight are doing terrible. Jemmy can't see, she's slow. Knight can't transfer the paint from his body onto the body bag board thing, and it's just all wrong for them. Side note, the dudes on this show are full of their bodies. Whenever they cut to Zach or Bananas, they're all like,
well, I am Adonis, and she's lucky that she gets to rub all over this. I bet it's the best thing she's done all day, or all month, or forever in her entire life. Because look at me, look at me, look at me.
John A and Zach go, and they're doing really well. Jordan and Sarah are doing it a different way. They're letting gravity do the trick, and she's just letting her stuff just drip all over him, which just kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense, right? So anyway, very hard to follow this challenge. It was very awkward. It was very entertaining, and you know, let's make them do more awkward things to each other. But let's choose a different color paint next time, because it's ugly, and I didn't like it, and it's all about me. Look at me. So the winners, filling in all 12 squares, were Zach and John A. Looks like those two bodies work well together. The losers of this round were Knight and Jemmy, as if we didn't already know that. I love in Banana and Nani's interview part where Banana's talking and explaining something, and all of a sudden Nani's just like and spits off to the side, and then kind of realizes like, I just spit while like that was fucking hilarious. And Bananas is like, that's so hot. So back at the house, Zach and John A sit down because they're trying to talk to Jemmy and Knight, because Jemmy and Knight are their friends, and they're automatically going into the dome, so they want to know who out of the rookies they would rather go into the dome with, because they're bad at making decisions, apparently. I just love Knight's confidence, because Knight is like, no, why don't you send Bananas in? And they're like, you want to go against Bananas? We don't want to throw Bananas in. He's like, nah, we pick Bananas. And John A's like, we're not throwing Bananas in. It's going to be out of the two rookies. Listen with your ears, man. Dude likes the challenge. It is the name of the show. My jokes aren't very good today. So next they talk to Jenna and Jay, and Jenna and Jay feel very good about them not deciding to send them in because Zach wants to put it in Jenna. Now Zach and John A are having a serious heart-to-heart. Big, buff, manly Zach is breaking down into a little soft nugget, and he's like,
I just want to be friends.
And she's like,
all I ever wanted was to just be your friend.
and he's like,
Let's be friends.
and then they're like, oh, and he's like,
Your hair is like a pillow.
I dig it, it's cute. Later on in the new segment I'm calling Bunk Chat, Nani is talking to John A about how she's letting her emotions get to her about bananas and she hates it. Meanwhile, Adam is in another room talking to Wes about how he was a stripper before, and Wes takes the opportunity to be like, Adam never doesn't do what I tell him to do or ask him to do, so let me ask him to show me how he used to strip. And then so he goes on a stripping rampage. He's stripping for all of the girls in the room. Then he brings in John A, starts dancing on her just to be like, please don't send me into the dome. I'll put my crotch in your face. Now Wes and them are sending in girls one by one to get lap dances by Adam. He's just loving it. Then all the boys open the door and they're like, ah! We're taking away your man card, bro. After Adam calms down, he's talking to Jeanne about the possibility of her sending him into the dome and Brittany, and he's telling her that, like, it would be smarter if they sent in Jay and Jeanne. Now I'm starting to everybody's name. Jay and Jeanne. Not Jay and Jeanne. It's not even Jay and Jeanne. It's Jay and Jenna. Jay and Jenna. So Adam's telling Jeanne, like, look, he's not going to throw in Jay and Jenna because he wants to continue making out with Jenna. Jeanne talks to Zach the next morning and she's like, I think we should throw in Jay and Jenna. And he's like, no, we're not. We're not doing that. Why? Why would we do that? That's dumb. So now he's probably paranoid that she's going to go against him in the deliberation and throw in Jay and Jenna. But deliberation time is upon us. What is this? TJ asked Jeanne first, like, who she wants to throw in, and you can tell that this is a question that she does not ever want to answer. She actually chooses Adam and Brittany, and TJ's like, what? And calls her out, and he's like, really? Why? Can I just tell you guys how much I love when TJ calls people out for stuff? I just love it. It's like, I'm not just the host, bitch. I'm also in the game because I'm going to give you shit. I'm going to tell you suck. And I'm also going to ask you why when you make a dumb decision. Anyway, he's like, I want your answer, John A. And everybody's just laughing and oh my God, she's uncomfortable. Zach now explains to the jury why he wants to keep Jenna and Jay in the house, and it's a load of bullshit. He should have just been like,
I want to put my penis in Jenna's vagina, so I would really appreciate it if you guys would just give me some slack and let me keep her in the game.
what are you hiding for? My dog is now hiding. He's scared of Jenna's vagina. Back at the house, some more bunk chat is going on. And Zach is talking to a room full of people about how Jeanne is the worst person. She has no communication skills. She has no confidence. He's living in a nightmare, and these are all facts. And she walks in and hears everything. And this moment, I'm like, and I want to go cry in a corner for her. Now Jeanne is crying and she's really upset, and I am too. And guys, I am feeling for her right now. And I know a lot of people are going to be shocked by this, but I think that this season, Jeanne has crawled right into my little heart here, and I'm confused by it, but I'm also welcoming it, and I don't know what that means. Am I the one? Moving on, Zach is now making fun of Bananas for the way that he talks to his girlfriend back home. A little mushy-gushy style on the phone, like, I love you too, babe. I love you too. I miss you too. Anyway, that's how people fucking talk to each other when they like each other, okay? But most of all, I love Bananas' response.
It's probably going to take $125,000 worth of sparkly gifts to calm my girlfriend down once this makes air. So I better win.
Which is hella funny because it probably will. It probably will take that much to calm her down. But this is in the room in front of Nani, and Nani's already emotional. I don't know if Nani's on her period. I don't know what's going on. But every 5 seconds, Nani is crying. Nani whiny. That doesn't even rhyme. That's like when people try to make, what is that? When people try to make stuff rhyme that doesn't go together. It's a rhyme fail. I could never be a rapper. Anyway, it's eating at her, and so she's annoyed, and she's covered herself with a blanket. Bananas is sitting next to her now, and he's like, hey, you want to go work out? And she's like, no, I'll work out later. And he's like, well, I'll make you a quesadilla or something. I don't know what he said, but I don't understand why you would make her a quesadilla and then have her work it. I think quesadillas are bad for you. But they're delicious, and I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, if you're trying to get her to work out and then also trying to feed her a quesadilla, like, I don't know. Anyway, he calls himself the nicest partner in the world, and she calls him the worst. Let's get hype and welcome to the Dome. 2 huge stacks of cinder blocks. And basically, the 2 teams have to hold on to a rope, one behind another, and pull it until this thing smashes through the cinder blocks and then smashes through the next, excuse me, set of cinder blocks. It's all about that strength, no puzzle. My jokes today are just not good. 'Cause you know it's all about that strength, no puzzle. All about that strength, no puzzle. All about that strength, no puzzle. I'm all about that strength. Somebody stop me. So anyway, they start this elimination challenge in the Dome, and Knight looks like he has never pulled anything harder than this. Like, his face is like, but I don't even think like he's pulling it that hard, you know what I mean? It's just like as hard as he can, which would be, or it would probably be more than what I mean, I can't do anything. It's hard for me to do this right now. My legs hurt from standing right here. Anyway, his face is super red. He looks like a cherry about to pop. And Adam and Brittany figure out that they're only going to break through these cinder blocks if they take huge pulls at one time. You know what I mean? And not just like, da-na-na. I mean like 1, 2, 3. Like that. That's how they should have been doing it. While Jemmy and Knight are struggling really, really hard, Adam and Brittany decide to take a break. Who takes a break in the Dome? Nobody. Even if it looks like you're in the clear, don't take a break in the Dome. Everybody on the sidelines is like, go! What the fuck, man? And they're just like, just hold on 1 minute. Then Brittany starts giving him crap, and she's like, come on. And finally, that fuels his fire. He grabs back onto the rope and busts through the next cinder block, and they win because they are the ones. So we have to say goodbye to Jemmy and Knight, but I love these 2 together, and I just love Knight's quote when he was leaving because it's so Knight of him to say.
I get called an asshole quite a bit, but the truth hurts, and nobody wants to say it. But like, if it's the truth, I'm gonna say it, you know? I'm Ryan Knight, the man, the myth, the legend, often imitated, never duplicated.
R.I.P. Knight. I love you lots. Back at the house, Nani starts crying again. Nani, I'm gonna have to do it to you. Nani's crying again because of her feelings about bananas. And he's sitting behind her asking her what is she crying about and what does he need to know, and she's like, nothing. He's like, well, I hope this doesn't affect us as a team, cause no, I'm a dude. This girl stuff, nah. Oh, thank you for getting me a beer. So that pretty much ends last night's episode, but then, you know what I had to do? I had to log on this morning to MTV.com, and I had to go watch Battle of the Exiled, which was complete bullshit, because I actually didn't have to watch it. And you want to know why? Do you want to know? Anyway, first, Knight finds out that he dislocated his shoulder in the Dome Challenge. So he's got to get that taken care of. Told you guys he was pulling that fucking rope way too hard. I love when Simone and John walk up to the Exile Challenge. They're like, ready? And they see TJ and he's standing there with a big plate of fucking meat. It's like been sitting out in the sun and it's got like flies flying around. It's like liver and guts and stuff and grossness. Like, no, Ace is out of there. But then TJ switches things up on them. Because Knight hurt himself during the challenge, Simone and John are gonna get a free card to stay another week and wait to go into an exiled elimination. They get to go back home to the exiled house and make tacos together. So you guys know what time it is. It's time to end this recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please go tell Johnny Bananas that he's awesome sauce for making me that intro. I freaking loved it and I hope you did too. Tell him to make more in the future because you know I always need an intro, y'all. Anyway, please give this video a like, thumbs up, leave a comment down below, down there, and share it with your friends. Tweet it and stuff like that because I see you guys on Twitter and I love you and I just want to pull you closer like this, no cinder blocks. So you know what we do now, we dance for DM. And I hope you guys know that the first recap I said this, but a lot of people I don't think it resonated with them, that although they're called dancing for DM and that's what I'm calling it, like It's dancing for DM and Night. We lost both of them, and we're dancing for both of them. So I just wanted to reiterate that to you people who are like, what about Night? I loved them both very much. We all did, and these dances are for them. So dance your ass off. That one looked kind of choreographed, didn't it? Every week we are dancing. We are recapping and we are dancing and we are loving each other in the challenge. And I keep doing this because my bra keeps showing. I don't want to touch myself. Anyways, I love your guys' faces, and I'll see you next week for another recap of the challenge Battle of the Exes 2. And until then, peace out. Oh, P.S. Tell me if I look good and lit up and you can hear me better, because my wife got lights and you can't see them, but they're here, and I'm using a mic kind of thing. I'm a professional.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Haley from the challenge Battle of the Exes 2, and I am just hanging out here drinking a little vino, wearing my MTV onesie. I hope you guys are really enjoying this season just as much as I am, and get ready because you're about to check out Ace's recap of this week's challenge.